Is it? Well, now you tell me. The all-powerful, all-knowing phone. No idea. It's just the all-knowing, all-powerful phone. You can't dispute what phone says. What? Are we ready? The TV's not on. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our October, I'm a month ahead, ain't I? September Town Hall meeting. Now, do not adjust your TV sets. I am not Ricky Stamps. Ricky's playing in the New England foliage, so she's asked me to open the meeting and read a few announcements. So the first one is I'm supposed to say this will replay at 2 p.m. today, at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Sunday. I'm not sure why I'm supposed to read that to you, because if you hear it, you probably won't want to watch it again. But anyway, she asked me to read that. Her announcements is we will do our best to show the Arkansas football games each week, but there are times when the Arkansas sports are aired on channels that we don't subscribe to. The games will be shown in a performance hall when we can get them, unless a resident event is booked. Please check the monthly schedule on channel 1961 for the October games, and then the November games will be posted on the next month's calendar. There was a July trip to the Top Golf that was rescheduled for this coming Wednesday, October 5th. The weather should be great. And I'm going to read what she put down here. She said, anyone can play. Well, she's obviously never seen me play golf. But that's what she says. The weather should be great. Anyone can play. Guests will have fun, and during this unique experience, dinner is included, and reservations are limited. So if you haven't signed up and want to go on Wednesday, October 5th, please sign up. October's schedule includes a piano concert, a trip to the newest Crystal Bridges outdoor event, our annual Village Craft Fair, guest speakers with KUAF and UA Museum, a Pen Pal ice cream social, a cabaret show featuring residents and employee talent, and a fall festival for children and grandchildren of residents and employees. And that is all of her announcements for today. Is there any quick questions on any of that? And if not, please consult your calendar. We have a special guest with us today. This is Jeannie Shelton from the Gridiron Show, and she is going to give a little presentation for you. So,
thank you. So I know some of you from visiting my mother-in-law, Cookie Shelton Redfern, who lives here in the building. But I'm here mainly in just my role. I teach in the journalism school at the University of Arkansas, and I'm the president of the Society of Professional Journalists, and I'm also the chapter advisor for the college students. Our one event each year is a Gridiron theatrical performance, and typically we've held this event in Rogers, but for the first time we're bringing it here to Butterfield Trail. And we are really excited because you have been some of our favorite audience members, so we're glad to bring it here to you. So it's going to be November 4th and 5th. This event raises money for scholarships and education. We're going to have a special Butterfield Trail night, which is $25, but it includes a reception, refreshments, intermission, and we're super excited. But I want just for a minute to introduce Catherine Shirls. If any of you listen to KUAF, you might know her as the militant grammarian, and she's going to talk about the show.
Hi, I'm not just going to say something real quick. First of all, some of you know what the Gridiron Show is. It's local journalists or people who have even that much connection to journalism writing skits and songs about the past year's news events. And we had to take 2 years off, as you well know, and this is our new year back, actually being on stage, and we're so excited to be here. We've been wanting to come to Fayetteville forever because most of our audience is from Fayetteville, and so just real quickly, I want to tell you about a couple of things in the show. It's a skit and a song and a skit and a song, that kind of thing. But if any of you have been watching the January 6th committee hearings, you know how they wanted to make them good for TV, right? We want you watching, so they produced them and everything. Well, we went a step further. We made it a variety show, including jugglers and magicians and ventriloquists, etc. Also including the family Von Trump. And then we're also going to do a medley of Disney songs that we think you'll appreciate too. But in the meantime, there's lots of spoof and songs about news events that I'm sure you've kept up with. So I hope you'll come. I know a lot of you have either been or have friends who have been, so I hope you'll come. What day? Friday, well, exclusively your night, is Friday, November 4th, and at 7 o'clock, and the reception starts at 6, and then Saturday night is for the public, and if you can't come Friday, you certainly can come Saturday, November 5th, 7 o'clock, both of them.
You'll see lots of faces you recognize from TV, journalists, and
Chelsea Helms and Mike Allen.
From KNWA. So flyers will be up, and you'll have plenty of opportunities to buy tickets. We also have an online page. So thank you.
Thanks. Hope to see you there.
And now we have some administrative announcements. So we'll start with Jennifer, and then Patricia, Gary, and then Cody will go after that. So.
We are so lucky to be having that event on campus. Yay. Well, for fitness and wellness, I want to tell you about the hiking program. I also want to say we've already done the hardest hike of the season. If you're on the hike, you understand. Yes. And all of the other ones will be quite a bit easier, and I'm really excited about them. So this October 3rd, we're going to be doing the Wilson Preserve right next to Sam's. And we have a gentleman from the Land Trust, and he's going to be doing a wetlands prairie talk. And I'm really looking forward to it. The following week, October 10th, Markham Hill. Then the next week, we're going to do Prairie Grove, Battlefield Park. And then October 24th, we're going to do the Kessler Preserve. We're going to have another wonderful speaker taking us through the preserve. Flint Creek Preserve will be the next one with another wonderful speaker. And then Devil's Den on November 7th. We'll be doing a history of Devil's Den with a hike. So very excited about the rest of the hiking program for this season. Please get signed up. And as usual, it is always on Mondays. We always leave at 10:30. And you always want to check. It's either bring your own lunch or we'll be eating out. We have changed one thing. If it is bring your own lunch, you have to have your order into the bistro Friday prior to the hike. And if you ever need anything, you can always text me. I'm happy to help. Also, this semester, we have a wonderful intern. His name is Alex, and he is teaching Zumba Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9. Please give it a try. He has a wonderful personality. And if you haven't tried pickleball yet, please come give that a try. Wednesdays at 8:30 next to the garden. We took over a part of our drive. So anyway, that is going well, and please get involved. And I guess that's all I have to say. So have a wonderful week and weekend.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Patricia Portner, Director of Resident Services. Just two quick things this morning. I've had some reports from different residents about emails and texts from Arvest. Those are scams. If you are getting unsolicited emails from Arvest or text, be very, very wary about that. Do not click on any attachments. Don't click on any links to other websites, because those are just attempts to suck you in so they can get your personal information and hopefully probably get to your financial information. And this is, I'm going to read you something that's directly off the Arvest website. It said, "It is not Arvest policy to send you unsolicited emails asking you to verify or update information. You will never be asked to go to a website by clicking on a special link to take any action where you type in any information. If you get an email that appears like it is from Arvest Bank and is asking you to click a link and enter data, do not respond. If you receive an email like this, please contact the bank to report the fraudulent email." And this also applies to text. You never want to click on a link or attachment that's contained within an unsolicited text or email. So just a word to the wise to be very careful about that, because if you're like me, you get something every day from somebody trying to suck you into something. And then the other thing I wanted to mention just really quickly was to give you a total on our efforts to raise money for the Alzheimer's Association. Our grand total for this year was $8,428. And that included not only what you donated, but some online donations. That's actually the highest amount we've raised since 2019. But I want to thank everyone that did donate. I appreciate your efforts. And maybe next year we'll see if we can walk. This year's location I did not think was the most appropriate place for us. And then with a bit of a rise in COVID at that time, we decided not to actually participate in person. We'll try again next year. Does anyone have any questions for me? If not, have a great weekend. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. I brought notes. Should only take us about an hour to get through it. That was for Quentin. Anyway, just because everybody has talked to me about how much they miss the bad jokes that we had during COVID, we're going to give you one. All right? So here you go. Bad joke for today in honor of Halloween coming up in a very short month. What is a cowboy's favorite candy? What is a cowboy's favorite candy? It's Jolly Ranchers. Yeah, I can hear the groans coming from the people watching on TV already. All right, the reason I'm up here is because there has been a desire by residents for a while that we have some type of messaging system to give you the all clear anytime there's a fire alarm or a tornado or something of that sort. So we have found a program called Telegram that we have settled on as being that messaging system. It is a program that you will install on your telephone, and that will allow us to send you messages as needed. We looked at this as an emergency messaging system, but we've decided that we can do so much more with it. Some of those things we'll be able to do are the all clear messages. The information that you get in memos we'll be able to post to this new system, so that if you don't want to go down to your mailbox to find a paper memo, that information will be included in this new messaging system. We'll also be able to inform you of daily changes to dining or event reminders and possibly updates about scams like Patricia just gave you. So this is a voluntary system to sign up for. We will be having a show and tell about what this system is and how it works on Wednesday, October 5th in this room at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we won't go into a lot of detail about it today, but if you want to come to that meeting at 1 o'clock next Wednesday, we will show you what the program looks like, and we'll give you an idea of how it functions. Once we get through with the show and tell on Wednesday, we will start helping you get the app installed on your telephone device. We will be doing that the week of October 10th through the 14th. And then we'll have one makeup day on October 17th for anybody who couldn't make it on their designated day the week of the 10th through the 14th. Let's see here. Look for a memo later today with the dates and times for those app install sessions. And we will see you hopefully next Wednesday to show you what the app is about. So here comes Cody. Thanks.
Morning, everyone. Thanks for coming. I just wanted to talk about two events that the Employee Appreciation Committee is helping organize in October, both including a bunch of resident involvement. First is the pumpkin decorating contest that you've hopefully seen some flyers around campus about. We're inviting everyone, employees and residents who want to carve, paint, or otherwise decorate a pumpkin to enter the contest. Pumpkins will need to be turned in on Wednesday, October 26th by noon in the main lobby out here on some tables we'll have set up. Then we'll have open voting 1 p.m. that Wednesday until 4 p.m. that Thursday. Anyone is invited to vote. You don't need to enter in a pumpkin to vote. Votes will be tallied and the winners will be announced at the next town hall meeting on Friday the 28th, and we will have some prizes for the winners. The next event is the return of the Fall Festival. This has been a Butterfield tradition that was affected the last 2 years of COVID, so we're excited to have that come back. This will be 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Halloween night, Monday the 31st, in the Performance Hall here. We're going to have some games, a bouncy castle, snacks, and of course lots of candy for all the kids. We're inviting employees and resident families to dress up and bring their kids or grandchildren. Like in years past, we will be asking for some candy donations for the kids, and I'll be putting out a flyer with some of that information for it next week, so be on the lookout for that. And we hope to see tons of residents and families out for a night of fun. Hope you can come. Thank you.
Couple of real quick follow-up things here. On the app Gary talked about for notifications, we spent a lot of time over the last couple of years looking at this and happened to stumble across this app, and it seems to work fine. So it seems to be just what we were looking for. But it is voluntary. We hope most residents will agree to or will install it on their phones. You don't actually have to agree to it. You have to do it yourself, but Gary and his team will help you. But we hope most residents will have this installed on their phone, because it is a very easy and quick way to get you notifications of any events that's happening at Butterfield. So the app is also easy to delete, as most apps are. So if for some reason you try it and you say, man, I just don't really like this, then you can just delete it off your phone. It's no big deal. So, but anyway, if you would keep that in mind. I have one correction from what I said earlier. We had a viewer call in and say that I had announced earlier that there's an ant crawling around up here. I had a viewer call around up here and say that today's town hall meeting would replay at 2 p.m. today, and it's actually at 1 p.m. today. So it's not 2 p.m., it's 1 p.m. today if you, for some reason, just want to watch me again. So I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you do, please feel free to do so. With that, I'll go into my announcements. And Jay, would you come up? Today I have some bittersweet news. Jay Green has given me his resignation and is leaving us. October 13th is his last day. 13th, yeah. October 13th will be his last day. We were able to find a replacement right out of the starting gate, so we've hired a gentleman by the name of Mike Wright, and he will start this coming Monday, so they'll have a little bit of time to overlap and train. With this, I wanted to give Jay a chance to say a few words. So,
thank you, Quentin, and thank you, Butterfield. I wrote it down so I wouldn't mess it up. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to Butterfield. Thank you to the residents that have been good to me. It's been an honor serving you, and it's been an honor working with the team that's in healthcare and across this campus. Take a lot of pride in what we do, and I take a lot of pride in serving you. So just please know that I appreciate everything that Butterfield's done for me, and I know Mike will be a good addition to Butterfield. I know him personally. I've met him before through other administration channels, and he will be a very good addition to Butterfield. So please don't worry about anything like that. But I do appreciate the opportunity to say thank you, and God bless everyone. Thank you.
and we appreciate Jay and the work he's done for Butterfield, and he was a good addition for us. We sorry to see him go and wish him the best of luck, and we look forward to a new administration. So We are planning having and I hope it's not a surprise to him, but we are planning on having a farewell party. Chris told me not to say going away party, but a farewell party to Jay on Tuesday, October the 11th at 2 p.m. here in the Performance Hall. Is that still on, Michael? Okay. So it's open to, of course, to all staff and residents, so please come by and wish Jay a good farewell. He's moving on to greener pastures, and I've been doing this a long time, and it's always sad to see people that you've worked with and known go, but they're as long as they're moving on and not are running to something and not running away from something, then I'm always pleased. So because that's the development. People grow and improve and train, and then it's time for them to move on to the next chapter of their life. So. Anyway, let's see. So Tuesday the 11th at 2 p.m. So please come and wish Jay farewell and best of luck. So the next thing, I've kind of got a lot of both good and bad news today. The next thing is I want to talk about our budget, 2023 budget and monthly fee increase. The board, finance committee and board did approve the budget and fee increase this past 2 weeks at our meetings. The fee increase, I'm actually pleased that we were able to keep the monthly fee increase at 5%. And some of you are sitting there going, dang, Trammell, are you crazy? 5%? That's a lot higher than normal, and yes, it is. Of course, obviously, I'm not going to try to pull the wool over your eyes. I was actually pleased we were able to keep it 5%. 5% is the minimum that we could have possibly done to keep Butterfield on a firm financial footing. If you've watched the news, cost is skyrocketing. Our cost of food, utilities. We feed 400 people a day. We have 278 homes that people live in. So when utility cost is skyrocketing and food skyrocketing, that hits us pretty hard. Also labor. Labor cost is really going up. 80% of this new money generated by this 5% fee increase is dedicated to improving our salaries to try to remain competitive in the marketplace where we can hire staff to serve you. We have in many of our departments, we're not even in the bottom scale of the market right now, and we've got to fix that pretty quick. In fact, we may not be able to wait, probably won't be able to wait till January 1st to give some of these raises, and we've had a lot of staff vacancies this year that's generated some savings in our budget, and we'll probably use that to try to implement some of these raises a little earlier than January 1st. We're simply that far behind the market, and we've got to get caught up. So that's both the good news and the bad news. So the good news is we were able to keep it at 5%. The bad news is it is 5%. So, but like I said, I think this is going to be help us get our salaries to where we need to be, and hopefully improve some services in areas that we've been having some troubles with. And we'll actually talk about that a little more here in just a minute. I'm gonna move on to my next thing. I put on my glasses so I remember what it is. Last town hall meeting in August, I talked about a resident survey that we were going to do on do we want buffet line or plated meals. As you know, you have not seen a survey. Instead, what you did get yesterday was a memo talking about the changes that we're going to implement starting Monday in our dining room. And I don't know if you all had a chance to read that or not, but if you haven't, please do. But I wanted to explain why you got that memo yesterday and not a survey. And it's a little bit of a long story, and we kind of arrived at this through a process of what I call osmosis. So I hope you'll just bear with me here a little bit. And I may ramble a little bit, and if you would, once again, bear with me. Butterfield had a buffet line for, I don't know, a long time. I'm going to say the history of Butterfield, I think. The buffet line we had last time, before the pandemic, was on its last legs and quite honestly needed to be thrown away. We had kept it running, kept it cobbled up. It was working, but some parts of it was literally even falling down. We would have thrown it away and replaced it years ago if we had wanted to do that. In all honesty, we had been looking for a number of years about going to plated meals and getting rid of the buffet line rather than replacing it. That was discussed for, like I said, many years. There's a lot of wailing and gnashing of the teeth on about the old buffet line. One of the reasons and one of the issues we had is we had a company called Morrison that was here doing food service, and they were here, I think, up through April or something like that of 2018. I don't remember the exact date now, but anyway, we decided to wait until we got Morrison contract ended. We were going to bring dining back in-house, and then we would look at moving away from the buffet line, at a little later date. So Morrison contract ended. We hired Memo. We hired Memo and Henry. I think it's like April 2018, and they came in, and we've been doing a good job. And so we were like, okay, when can we move away from the buffet line? Allergies. I hope it's allergies. Anyway, about this time, the pandemic hit, and we had to shut down the dining room. So we said, okay, this is the opportunity to just get rid of the buffet line. Instead of putting another one in, we're going to open back up with plated meals. So about this time last year, we thought it was safe to reopen the dining room, and we went back with what I'm going to call the full plated meals. And my impression is that went over pretty good with most Evians. There was a few that said, gosh, I wish we had the buffet line back. Most of the residents I heard from said we like the plated meals, and then some of them said we like the plated meals, but we'd really like a buffet, a salad bar buffet, the salad and fruit and bread on a buffet line still. So anyway, when we opened up, this was last fall, we had trouble with staffing. We simply was unable in this very tight labor market to hire the staff to keep the plated meals going. Plated meals takes a little more staff than a buffet line does. So we kept having to switch back to buffet lines because we couldn't have the staff, and then we'd hire some staff, we'd try the plated meals again, we'd switch back to a temporary buffet, and then finally we just said, okay, enough, let's just go to the temporary buffet and give it some time, and the staffing will improve, and the labor market will get better, and then when it does, we'll go back to plated meals. Well, that was last March, maybe February, and so here we are in August and in September now, and the labor market is getting a little better maybe, but it's still nothing like we are accustomed to seeing in business. Now I've also been doing business for a long time, and you see things come and go, up and downs. How many booms and busts have we all lived through? So this is temporary. It'll end. It'll go. We just don't know exactly when is it going to end and when is it going to get better. I think we're starting to see that occurring in the marketplace, I think. But when we talked last town hall meeting, I said, we'll do a survey, but I'm really speaking out of turn because I haven't thought this through and I haven't discussed it with our staff. And as it turns out, my prediction was exactly correct. I hadn't thought it through and I was speaking out of turn. But once we got to talking about it and looking at it, we arrived at the conclusion that, and maybe I'll just say it this way, and I won't talk about me and the mouse in my pocket and quit saying we. I'm just simply not ready to give up on the plated meals concept yet. This was a long-term, I don't know if that was a good or bad comments, but this was a long-term goal that we had talked about. The labor is a short-term, and what I hope is a short-term situation, and I'm not willing to sacrifice long-term strategic goals for a short-term temporary operating situation. And maybe I'm being stubborn, maybe I'm being stupid, maybe I'm being both, I don't know. But I'm not ready to give up on it yet. Anyway, when Memo and I have been talking about this for the last month, we kept trying to prepare a survey, and finally we came down to the memo that was put in your boxes yesterday. The question became, if we can't do the full plated meals like we want, what other options do we have besides putting in a $500,000 buffet line that we're then stuck with for the next 20 years? Even in The Price is Right, you get door number 1, door number 2, and door number 3. So I said, well, Memo, what's behind door number 3? Okay, door number 1's plated meals. We can't do that due to staffing. Door number 2 is a buffet line. Well, what's door number 3? What can we do with the staffing we have other than spend a $500,000 and put in a fixed buffet line that we're stuck with for the next 20 years? That once again, the memo you got yesterday was the result of that. Memo had went and visited some other CCRCs. They are doing very similar type dining concepts that's in this memo. And we thought, well, let's give it a try. I don't want to get too wild experimenting on your food because, you eat it every day. It's very important. But let's give it a try. And there's 3 big reasons that I want to try this a while and see how it works. Number one is, and the obvious is, we might like it. We might say, hey, we really like this concept. Now, the concept briefly is your soup, salad, and bread will be on a buffet, and fruits, yogurts, and things will be on a buffet line, just like we have now. The main entree will be plated in the kitchen based on your order, and then will be brought to your table. So I'm calling this a modified or a hybrid approach to plated meals. The three advantages to trying this are, one is we may really like it. What happens if we say, hey, we really like this concept, we want to keep it? So then we've got to figure out, okay, well, what does a permanent salad bar buffet look like? And those type of things we haven't even begun to address yet because we'd be getting a cart in front of our horse because we want to go this route and see how it works and see how we like it. The second reason I wanted to try it is simply to quite honestly just buy some time to see if the labor market doesn't improve and to see if the things we're going to do to fix our ability to hire doesn't get a little better. For example, I said earlier, included in the budget, 80% of that new money is dedicated to staffing salaries. So we're going to give some raises in dining and across other departments at Butterfield. We've appropriated a little money for some recruiting. We haven't spent money on recruiting in the past, and we're going to spend a little bit of money on recruiting and see if we can't hire the staff we need to make this successful. So the second thing we need is we need some more time to see if we can't make this work. And the third reason is it's also kind of akin to the second one is I need more time to get some other projects done. We've simply got too many other projects in the hopper right now, if you will, in the fire, and we don't have enough time to dedicate attention to the details we need for all of these to make sure they all are done successfully and correctly. For example, there's only one of Joe Permy, and I need him spending all his time getting apartments renovated. We've got the special care project we're in the middle of. And we've had another issue that we've been grappling with for 3 years, actually, that we finally reached the point we gotta quit grappling with it and getting something done about it, and that's the floor tile in healthcare. I'm gonna switch gears slightly here for a minute. The floor tile in healthcare, we remodeled healthcare in 2016. We put a tile down in the hallway, and we put a different tile down in the resident rooms. The tile in the resident rooms is great. It's what it's supposed to be. Now, this is a 40-year floor. Should last 40 years. Should be great. Should be just shining like a new dime 40 years from now. And the floor in the resident rooms is doing that. The floor in the hallway is not. Part of the floor in the hallway is coming up. Part of it is not. Why is part of it not staying glued down and the other part coming up? And the answer is we don't know. We haven't received a satisfactory explanation as to why. And then most importantly, how do we fix it? In 2019, by the summer of 2019, after grappling with it for a year, we finally, in the dining room in healthcare, we ripped up the tile and put down carpet. That's worked. We don't like carpet in the dining area, but that solved the immediate problem in the dining area. So now we've got the same issue in the main hallways, and we've got to figure out how to address it. We've had 3 people come by in the last week or so, give us their thought. Well, 2 of them has give us their thoughts and opinions. The third one we're waiting on his report back to see what he comes up with. But we're going to have to get this addressed as well. And once again, this just takes a lot of time to go through these details. And that's the other thing we need is just simply buy a little more time to try to get the special care project going and some of these details done. And then we have more time to focus on a buffet line and any changes to the kitchen and dining that's necessary as a result of a new buffet line if we decided to go that route. Now, Memo's drawn out the buffet line itself, the features and things on it, but we haven't even begun to look at finishing selections. What color is it? Is it stainless steel? Is it wood color? We haven't got into any of that yet. So there's a number of legwork that we will also be doing and spending time looking at over the next few months, so that if the decision is then to go with a buffet line at a later date, then we'll be prepared to move forward with implementing it. So anyway, that's why you got the memo yesterday instead of the survey, and we worked, like I said, we worked through that for the last month. It was kind of a process of osmosis, and after after discussing it, it just evolved into this, and I hope you find my explanation satisfactory. So with that, I've asked Memo to come up, and we're going to go briefly through the design that we're talking about. And once again, if you haven't read your memo, please get it and read it. So I've got Memo to help talk about the memo. So
Good morning, everybody. We have a lot of changes coming up again, so just bear with us. We're gonna go through the same training process we had before. It's always a hiccup, it's always a bumpy road, but we'll manage this. I just want to be clear about a few things that when this happens is you will be having an assigned section. So instead of coming in and deciding where you want to sit at, we do have to assign your seat. This helps us with the flow of how many staff we have. We cannot put 4 tables at one time for one server. You wouldn't do this in a regular restaurant anyways, and we're gonna have to stick to our guns on this. And I do apologize if you don't get your table. I know a lot of you have your normal tables. I do apologize about this, but if we want to make this work, we have to follow these guidelines. Starting off, we are going to have 2 options, option A and option B. It'll be listed Monday through Saturday. On Sunday will still be a normal Sunday brunch buffet, but Monday through Saturday will be an option of A and B. You'll have a set entree with a starch and a vegetable. I have designed this menu myself. I have put a lot of hours into this menu, and I promise you this is not the same menu you've seen before in the past. This is not the same type of menu we had in the previous plated meals, which everything was cooked to order. This is more of a modified plated dinner, and this is the most efficient way for us to serve you a lot faster. In the past, we've had issues with your wait time being at the dining table being an hour long before you get your food. Now I don't want that, and this is gonna help us a lot better to serve your needs and get you your food a lot faster. The salad bar is gonna help out a lot too. So there's gonna be a salad bar charge if you just want the salad bar. That would be $6 for the salad bar. You'll get the salad bar, the fruit bar, the soup, and the bread, and you can access that anytime. That's just by itself at $6. For $10.50, you can have one option A or option B, and that includes a salad bar. Same thing with the a la carte. There's only 2 side items that'll come with a dish, but everything comes with the salad bar, and that includes your drink and dessert. The salad bar itself includes the drink, not the dessert. So if you want the dessert, that's $1.50. So we're training our staff to go through that, and they'll be able to answer some of these questions as you're coming in. There's a lot of questions that are going to come our way. We're going to be there to make sure they're trained on that so we can answer those as we're going. So for today, I'm here to answer any questions you might have that you might already have in your mind. So. It depends. Independent living is not set up as a where we have to follow the strict guidelines as we do in healthcare. Now, bear with us for a little while. We have to stick to the menu the way it is. Now, if there's an allergen, Teresa has listed almost every single resident's allergens on there. So if it pops up, it'll flag us, and then we'll go ahead and substitute it out. If your server is not aware about it already, the ticket that pops up will tell us if you have an allergen, and we will go ahead and switch that out or ask you if you like something else. Now, we're not making that exception for everybody. That's only if you have specific dietary needs. So right now, you can have it with the vegetable or without the vegetable is what I'm trying to say, yes. The question was, what was the question? Yes. So the question is, if I order option A, can I substitute my starch or vegetable? And right now the answer is no, unless it's a dietary restriction. And feel free to let us update your dietary restrictions as well. So bear with us for a couple of weeks until we get this organized, because if we start doing that for everybody, it's gonna cause a big mess for us, and it's gonna make things a lot more stressful. Like, yeah. The concern is the choice of not having the choice of sides, or taking away your choices. Now, I'm not doing this to hurt you. I plan out the menus to specifically pair them with the sides and vegetables accordingly to the main entree. Now, if I go to a regular restaurant, not every restaurant. If you go to a steakhouse, you have a choice of sides. Now, if you order off the a la carte, you can still choose your sides, but when you order a main entree, it does not. It comes with set starches and vegetables. I mean, if I order a turkey dinner at Cracker Barrel, you're gonna get the same entree versus ordering a steak where you can choose your own entree. So the a la carte will still be available, and you can choose your own sides as far as the a la carte. As far as the entrees, we're setting with the set starch and vegetable, and this might be temporary, this might be permanent. You're gonna have to give me a little bit of time to see how this works out, because our goal is to serve you faster and make sure you get your food fresh and hotter, and make sure it's consistent, instead of having to send a lot of confusion, dishes going back, and then causing more hiccups between the ticket service. Yes. Hmm? So the a la carte there's only like 4 items that have been eliminated. A few of those items also include the baked beans are going to be taken off, the coleslaw is going to be taken off. Those things are going to go into the salad bar, or it's going to be implemented into one of the dishes. So right now the starches are going to be the vegetables are going to be broccoli, asparagus, and green beans. As far as the starches, you get all your fried food, and baked potato and sweet potato is still on the menu. As far as main entrees, we're taking away the coconut shrimp. Maybe we're sticking to one fried shrimp. This is a limited space in the freezer that we have, so we're sticking to one fried shrimp, and we'll see, and we'll probably rotate it out throughout the season. So when summer's back, we'll go over to the coconut shrimp. During the wintertime, we'll just switch over to the regular fried shrimp. As far as the entrees, we're doing a pork chop. It's a bone-in pork chop, and we're doing it with either apples or peaches. That's going to be like our blue plate special, and I'll have that menu posted up. It'll be posted Saturday on the website, or I believe Sunday. So just feel free to come to me anytime. Okay. So the main entrees do change. You have 2 options, A and B, every single day. In the past, we had 5 different entrees that changed out every week. This time, you're having 2 entrees that change out every single day. So on Monday, you have option A and option B of one item. On Tuesday, you have option A and option B of a different item. So every single day, you're going to get new options to choose from. It's not like it was before in the past. So, does that make sense? Carryout will be available. So we're doing away with the dollar charge. So no more takeout orders are going to be charged for $1. As far as carryout, if you are placing a carryout order, you must fill out a little slip and turn it in the front desk, so we can go ahead and turn that in. We can put that in the computer without having to delay the line at the podium. So, sorry, the hostess.
Not the front desk, the hostess.
All right. The carryout, the question is carryout limited to choices A and B, or I believe that's your question. So carryout is just the same as dining in. You can choose A and B. That includes a salad bar and dessert, or you can choose off the a la carte just like normal, and that comes with 2 side items, and it also includes the salad and dessert and drink. And you can get the salad as well. So. The question is are we keeping the catfish? The answer is no. The catfish is coming off. It is part of the 6-week rotation cycle, so it will be on the cycle menu. It will not be on the a la carte. Hamburgers are staying. Salmon is staying. Right now, we are limited down to the single steak option, which is going to be the ribeye. The sirloin didn't go very well, so we're just going to stick with the ribeye until I see the market go down. Quinn was asking me about the filet mignon. Now, the filet mignon was a very popular seller, but fillets right now are anywhere between $30 and $40. And I understand a lot of residents have asked me, well, just increase the price. The FOB money is not real money. I have a budget that we try to focus on. FOB money, if I increase it by $30, $35, it's not going to make a difference. It's still going to cost the same amount for me to keep that in, and that's even to process it and everything else that happens along with it. A $30 piece of filet is going to cost me anywhere between $40 to $50, especially including the salad bar, the side items, the dessert, all of that. I mean, if I go to a steakhouse, I'm paying $75 while I'm over here losing $50 versus I'm trying to plan a meal that's $10.50. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. The question is, if the catfish does stay, will it be a big chunk of catfish or will it be little bitty pieces? The menu can change. Give me some time. Give me a couple weeks to see how the menu goes. And if we have room for improvement on adding stuff back on the a la carte, we will add that back on there. As far as how we serve it, it would be a big chunk of catfish. If it's plated, it'll be a big chunk. If it's buffet style, it'll be smaller pieces. So. The question is there's not enough green vegetables, and I promise you in a 6-week cycle we have green vegetables all over the menu. On top of that, the a la carte includes the 3 side vegetables, which are all green, which is the green beans, the broccoli, and the asparagus. The menu is designed for the majority, not just for the few. And if I started putting a green vegetable every single day, I'm gonna get the same complaint saying, "Well, there's too many green vegetables." Like it's gonna come back and forth. Now, as for the question is like having a corn and a potato are starches. Now, I do agree with that, but at the same time, when am I going to be able to serve corn? If I take away your potato and serve you corn, then I'm going to get the same complaint saying, well, how come we don't have potatoes every single day? Well, we're trying to do the corn. The statement was that the salad bar does include a lot of your green vegetables. We have added beans, we've added proteins, we keep increasing the amount of items, and we try to rotate the items in the salad bar. So we've been adding protein-style vegetables like kidney beans, black-eyed beans, such and such things like that. So
Well, we're starting to approach the end of our time at our town hall meeting. Plus, I don't want y'all beating Memo up just too much here. But I would like to say one more thing about this. I think we made a mistake last fall in that and quite honestly, this was my fault, that we tried to walk before we could run type thing on the plated dining, and we jumped into the full gamut of the plated dining, and we wasn't really quite ready. So one of the things about this method is it also allows us to learn to walk so we can then maybe run at a later time. So please bear with us. We're trying to have as many substitutions as we can. We're trying to offer as many greens as we can. And like I said, this is a process. So, and it maybe I'm just being stubborn and stupid. Maybe we should put in a buffet line. I don't know. But before we rush out and spend that kind of money on a fixed buffet, I would really like to try some things and see how we like them. I'm hoping, and maybe it's wishful thinking on my part, but I'm thinking and hoping we're really going to like this once we have a chance to work through it. So will we like everything on every day's menu? Of course not. But predominantly, will we like enough stuff or be able to order off the a la carte? Yes, I think so. So let's give it a chance. Let's let it work its process. Let's let Memo do his magic. He's the expert in the area, and I'm very confident that at the end of the day, we're going to be pleased with what we're getting. So. I hope so. I'm going to open up for general questions because I didn't ask any earlier, food or other questions. So, yes, ma'am. Thanks, ma'am. The question and comment is if is it going to be sitting in the kitchen, and the answer to that is no. Yeah. How it'll work is you'll come to the podium, and I'm going to assume you're just getting the full 1050 meal. So you come to the podium, your server or the person at the podium, hostess, will seat you at a table. Then once you're seated at the table, your server is going to come and take your order, and they'll take your entree order and your drink order. And then you're going to get up and go to the salad fruit bar and get what you want off there and sit down. Your server will bring you your drink, and then the dining when they get to that point, then we'll plate your meal, and then your server will bring it out to you. Hopefully it'll be hot. We'll see. Hopefully it'll be hot. It should be hot. Let me say it that way. And by then you'll have your salad eaten or be eating your salad, and then you'll have your entree, and you can continue with your meal. If you want just the salad bar, salad and fruit bar, it's just keep saying salad, fruit, bread, and all that. I'm just going to call it a salad bar generically, but that includes all that. If you want just a salad bar, you would sit down at your table, tell your server you want the salad bar, and then you'll get up and your drink order, and you'll get up and go to the salad bar and get your salad, and your server will bring you your drink. So if you want to-go orders, it would work basically the same way. You'll do the little ticket, give it to the hostess. You can go to the salad bar and get your salad. Correct me if I'm saying this wrong, Memo. You can go to the salad bar and get your to-go salad. They'll bring you your entree out, and then you'll be ready to leave the dining room and go back to your apartment or wherever you're going to eat. So did I get all that right, Memo? He's hesitating, but it's something along that line. So. Yeah. So, but anyway, is there any questions other than food or? The comment was that she really likes the salad bar. So, Nancy, you have a question? Yes, the question is if you get your entree and your food and the food's cold, can you have it warmed up or ask them to bring you new order? And the answer to that is of course yes. Now, the one thing I do want to caution there a little bit is if they bring you your entree and it sits there for 15 minutes while you eat the rest of your salad and talking, you know, your food may be cold. And that's okay. We'll still warm it up for you. But just keep that in mind. So if your food's going to sit there a while before you get to eat it, then I'm not sure how you want to handle that. But if it sits there 15 minutes before you get around to eating it, it's going to be cold. But if it is, we'll warm it up for you or bring you another plate. So we're here to serve you, and that's what we're trying to do the best we can. My hope is with our raises, the labor market softening a little bit, we're not going to have a lot of these issues. But standing up here today, you know, call me the internal optimist. We'll say it that way. So, somebody back here had a question. Yes, ma'am. The question is how will they be seated, and it will just be at any old place, or will you have any opportunity to select your table? I'm paraphrasing that slightly, but did I get that right? Yeah. And maybe to paraphrase it further is can she eat with her friends? We will do everything in our power to allow you to eat with your friends. Yes. The reason we're hesitating there is we don't have a lot of desire to control where you sit. We want you to sit with your friends. We want you to be able to socialize because dining is a very important social aspect of Butterfield. The problem is we also have to have staff to be able to get your service. So and it's not so much as who you're sitting with at the table, but so much as where that table is located in the dining room. So if you and your friends are used to, I'm going to make this up. If you and your friends are used to sitting at table 40, and now Memo needs to seat you and your friends at table 20, we're assuming that would be okay. So as long as you're with your friends. So we will do everything in our power to accommodate any request and I'm going to say this generically, we will do anything in our power to accommodate any request that we can as far as who you're sitting with, where you're sitting, any substitutions or anything like this. But just please understand and remember that there are limitations as to what we can do based on the staff that may be available in the dining room that particular day. So today you may be able to go in there and we've got plenty of staff, a bunch of people didn't call in sick or whatever, and no problem. We can seat you wherever you want. Tomorrow you come in and we've had a bunch of people call in sick. We may be really short-staffed and we may not be able to accommodate your request. So once again, we will accommodate your request if we can at all. So, and I'm committing that in front of Memo here. So, okay, the one in the back had your hand up first. So, yes, go ahead. I'm not sure. The question is if we get there and we're short of staffed, it will, and that's kind of one of those things that Gary, the app we were talking about with Gary, is going to come in useful. If the dining room is going to be closed or limited to takeout or to a buffet line, we'll get that posted on this app that we're going to get set up. Of course, that won't happen next week. It'll be a couple weeks before that's implemented, but we can post these changes on this notification app that Gary mentioned earlier. You know, we'll just have to play this by ear and see how it goes. Generally, once again, we're going to give you as much options and as much selections as we can. But there may be times where we're short-staffed where we have to put it back in a temporary buffet and not even allow you to, we won't have an option A or B. It'll just be a temporary buffet again. Generally, the a la carte will be available if we have kitchen staff. We've had a few times this last couple of weeks we've had to not allow a la carte because we just didn't have the staff in the kitchen to cook them. To cook the food. So once again, we'll just have to play this by ear and the staffing and see how it goes. So, yes, ma'am. the question is what about vegans or people with a special diet? Just make sure that that is reported to Memo or Patricia, and we'll get it updated on our computer. But I'm still not 100% sure what that would do for you from there. So, Memo, do you have a comment? Oh, we will try to accommodate you as best we can. So. Yeah, and Memo is going to hang back in the dining room, in the performance hall here, to answer. So if you have any specific questions about your diet, please come up to Memo after the meeting and ask him directly. So with that, we're out of time, and we'll see you. Hopefully, I'll see you at our October town hall meeting. So.